Everyone, thank you for joining me. This is welcome. I gotta say it again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the 31 Days of Dread. This is where we profile one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. This is year 4. Congratulations to me for being consistent. This is episode 300 and maybe 30 something at this point of my podcast. But we're talking horror movies. We're talking Sinister 2. Sinister 2, 2015. Sinister 1 came out in 2012. 3 years later. What does 3 years of percolation evolve into? Okay. I wanted this. I wanted to love this movie so much. Okay. Can we get through that intro and get back into it? Thank you. Alright, everyone, before we get into something spooky, let me tell you something. Trial by Fire. It's my comic book available right now on Indiegogo. Link in the description. And I will see you on the printed page. Intro out. So, my entire journey of Sinister 1 and 2 has been making me crave to watch the 2016 Marvel Cinematic Universe MCU masterpiece, Doctor Strange. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Just knowing the guy behind Sinister is also behind Doctor Strange makes Doctor Strange seem so much better. Like, look, this guy too. What's his name? Scott Derrickson. Is it Scott? Yeah, Scott Derrickson. He also made this movie in 2005 called The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's a pretty solid movie. That's also a good exorcism movie. Now, I mentioned this before. Sinister is a part of this block of children and ghosts and children and spirits and children and possession. It's almost like Poltergeist on the best cocaine you can buy. Okay, I'm being honest here. The best cocaine you can buy. That's what they did with Poltergeist, and it was The Conjuring. It's Paranormal Activity. It's Sinister, and it's also not Insomnia. Insidious, which has 3 movies. I didn't know that. I thought Insidious was only 2. But apparently, Conjuring has a sequel. Insidious has 2 sequels. This movie, of course, has 1. Okay, so what are we doing here? What's happening? So we have our goofy detective guy from the first movie left over. We referenced the first movie twice. One time, like it's a hardcore reference. He's following a trail, burning down previous houses because he thinks that's how the spirit works, and like and he knows something's goofy's happening, and he's just trying to stop this stuff. And along the way, we have a mother with 2 children, abusive ex-husband that she's not fully out of a relationship with yet. She has feelings with this former cop left over from the first movie, and there we go. Like, that's the melodrama that's gluing this thing together, and we get a little bit more of a definition of what's happening with Bagul and the spirit world and his dimension, and how these movies, because he's obsessed with old cinema. I mean, he's not obsessed with Polaroid pictures. It's a 16 millimeter because it's creepy, and you still have to record your murders and rewatch them on a 16 millimeter projector to get possessed. And at that point, it's even 50-50 if you're going to get possessed or not. And so the first movie, what the first movie did well, we're watching these reels, these movies, these murders. Ethan Hawke. I always want to say Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hawke, he's our protagonist in the first movie. He's the father. He's the one that goes through this box of films. But then at the end of the movie, he's poisoned. Foams at the mouth. Thank you, storytelling, for that easy tell. and we find out that the daughter is possessed. And the entire time in the movie, there's very little hints that she's possessed. You kind of see that she's been seeing, Bagul. She calls him Mr. Boogie. Like she's been communicating with him. She's been communicating with the ghost, and the ghost of these children that he has the soul of. So okay, and so now in this movie we have it's almost like movie time at night. They go into the basement, these two kids, and they just watch murder movies, and one brother likes it, one brother doesn't. And and the more sadistic brother, because there's like a rivalry, he goes like hardcore into it. And then we have like the children who are ghosts doing ghost things, like poltergeist stuff at the end of the movie, so that this kill can happen. So so Bagul gets like the soul of the one child because he's got to murder the family in this like ritualistic like seance type. Like it needs to be a ritual. The ritual does get broken up. So like what happens with this movie though, it almost does what all these sequels try and do, and it's interesting because it never works. See, when you do a horror sequel, you have to do the same thing, and you have to kind of decide which way it's going to be different, but it needs to be slightly different. But we need more of the same stuff. We don't need more exposition on what's happening. Like, we're already bought in on the concept. We just need a slight deviation. This movie, again, like goes against things that things that like it goes against its own rules. The child who's possessed, the ritual gets broken up. The child gets attacked. The camera that he's supposed to record, there's a ton of rules here. The camera he's supposed to record everything with gets smashed, and it's just like like we have a few scenes. Everything gets like reversed, and then at the end of the movie, we find out that Bagul, like he's still there. He's still going to like kill him, possess him, and he's not done yet. And the tragic part of all this stuff, it's like we're like there's an anticipation because we know the family's like going to die. We don't get that. Like, like we know that because we didn't get that with the first one because we didn't really know. We didn't know how the first one was going to end. Now we see that these movies and this franchise, this idea, commits to the bit. So with the sequel, we should be expecting them to die, and they don't. And it's disappointing. Yeah, like, hey, this is the weird world of horror. This is what horror movies like do to people. So, we get again, like two times in a row, the best sequence in this movie is this very heartfelt conversation the wife has with this detective cop guy left over from the first movie. The first movie's best scene was an argument between the husband and the wife, and along the way we get like another chunk of exposition, which is fine. We need it, but we're not getting anything new. We're not getting anything different. We get more of these creepy 16 millimeter like ritual killings. Some of them are very elaborate, because again, children are supposed to be doing these things and they're moving like full bodies. We could have explained that there was a mystical element happening within the child to help them. Like even if the child's able to do ghost like things, like if the ghost they're able to like levitate heavy objects or things, we could have, and that would have strengthened the first movie also. So I don't know. I would say this movie, a lot of it's a wash. A lot of this movie doesn't add any exposition that helps the first movie. I think the first movie is perfectly and well executed enough to be on its own anymore. And I am disappointed that this didn't become a thing, because Sinister is so good that it deserved to have a sequel every single year. So whatever. I'm sorry. I cannot recommend this. It's available on Netflix. Just wash it over, skip it, but let's get excited for the next movie. Day 17, right? Day 18, right? Is it it's day 18, I think. I may have said day 16 earlier. I'm losing my days. Then tomorrow, we're doing Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I had no idea about this movie, and holy crap, did I enjoy it? Holy crap! Probably right now in my top 5 horror comedies like ever. So everyone, rock and roll. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll keep marching forward. We'll try and find those gems within the stack, because we're already halfway through, baby. I love you. Trick or treat, rock and roll.